Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. As you are all aware of, we had started with the topic acute, subacute and chronic toxicity studies. So we have seen the need for these toxicity studies, why these toxicity studies are actually needed to be done. Okay, that is to find out the potential of any particular chemical to produce the toxicity. Generally, we want the information about the safety before we introduce it in the commerce. So, we had seen the various aspects which are covered under toxicity studies, like the physical and the chemical properties of that particular chemical, and its fate and the exposure when it is released in the environment. So what kind of effects can be produced? Okay. And we had started with the in vivo test. So we have seen that certain regulatory bodies need satisfactory outcome over these different aspects. So only once it is satisfied that the chemical is safe enough, then and only then it is approved to be used in the commerce or introduction in the commerce. Specifically, this is also true for new chemicals which are discovered or which are synthesized or generated. Especially even this is true for new drugs which are supposed to be utilized in the treatment of certain ailments. Okay, so under in vivo studies we had seen that it can be divided into three types depending upon the duration of the studies. It can be acute, subacute and chronic toxicity studies. So we had started with the acute toxicity testing, which includes again three types of tests depending upon the route of exposure. Okay, so we have covered the acute oral testing in the last video. Okay, so now in today's particular video we will cover the eye irritation test and the dermal irritation and sensitization. So here, as the name implies, exposure will be either by installation into the eye or by application to the skin. Okay, to start with the eye irritation test. Okay, now though this particular test, it aims at studying the potential toxicity when some chemical enters your eye accidentally. You will have an idea how much toxic it can be and what you can do, whether the rinsing of the eye immediately is it helpful or not. But the problem with this particular test is that it might develop permanent blindness and ocular toxicity to the animal. Okay, so that's the point of concern. Okay, it is highly damaging to the eyes of the animal. Okay, so usually in the olden days, Draize test was utilized. Nowadays there are so many variations of this Draize test which have been developed. So here the animal which is used, the preferred experimental animal is the albino rabbit which is used. So here the installation of your chemical is done in the eye of the albino rabbit. Okay, but the potential damage to the eye and the blindness which may be produced by this chemical. So for that matter, a lot of ethical concerns have developed. So there are several tests which are developed as an alteration of this Draize test, and even several in vitro tests have been also tried to be developed, okay, to avoid the damage to the eyes of the animal. Okay, now let us see how exactly this eye irritation test is carried out. So here firstly the test substance, it is placed in the conjunctival sac of one eye of the animal. Okay, and the second eye, it serves as the control. which is not administered with that drug. Okay, so after instillation of your chemical in the one particular eye, either right or left, you can keep it as a treatment eye, and the another eye should be kept as a control. And after instillation, the lids are held together for a few seconds so that the chemical, it should not run out of the eyes. Okay, so for that matter, for a few seconds you should hold the lids. Rabbits are put in the rabbit holders. There are specific rabbit holders which are available, which will restrain the entire animal, and only the head of the rabbit will be protruding out of it. Okay, so after instillation, the chemical, it is left in the eye for at least 24 hours. After 24 hours, the eye is rinsed and the eye is examined, and it is graded after 1, 2 and 3 days of the exposure. Okay, for any type of damage which that particular test substance has caused. So usually the grading, it is based on appearance of the cornea. Okay, that is specifically, this is with regard to opacity. The iris, that is the appearance of the iris, okay, whether it is normal or whether there is some abnormalities which has caused, and mainly the reaction to light. Okay, because light reflex, it is mainly controlled by the iris, this muscles in the iris, right? So reaction towards the light, when you focus the light, okay, whether it is normal or no, that you can check. Then the conjunctiva, it is graded for the redness or effects on the blood vessels, okay, whether conjunctival congestion has taken place or to what level it has taken place. So accordingly you can grade it. And the eyelids are also examined for any kind of swelling. Okay, so these are the parameters which you can check after exposing to the test substance. Now usually for examination, there are a lot of specific techniques, highly specialized techniques are available to make specific observations towards these various parts of the eye. You know, usually fluorescent dye may be utilized. This will help in visual examination, okay, because damaged tissue will easily take up this particular dye. Okay, so after illuminating the eye, it will make it very clear exactly which part of the eye has got damaged. Then the end point, it usually is scored on a numerical scale, okay, and the chemicals are compared, okay, a known toxicant, it is compared with a known toxicant, okay, as far as the degree of damage which has been produced. Now the test which we have seen, it is a no rinse test. That means you are allowing your chemical to act for round about 24 hours. Okay, but on the contrary, there are certain tests which are carried out wherein the eye is rinsed 1 minute after the exposure to the chemical. Okay, so rinsing immediately, it will help you to identify whether the removal of the drug, rinsing of the drug, it will help in reducing the potential of irritation of that particular drug. Okay, so if something or some chemical enters your eye accidentally, it is advisable to rinse your eye, okay, specifically with clean water, clean and cold water, so that immediately whatever has entered your eye, it should be removed out. Okay, decrease in the exposure will obviously help in decreasing the potential damage to the tissues which are exposed. Okay, so such kind of tests are also carried out wherein the eye is rinsed after 1 minute. Okay, so that after reducing the exposure, what is the outcome? Whether there is any reduction in the irritation, the potential for any irritation to the eyes. So this is also checked. Apart from this, even the grading is continued up to 21 days to evaluate the recovery from the damage which is caused by the test material. Okay, whether the animal is recovering, whether the eye is recovering appropriately. Okay, what are the chances of recovery, or whether it is producing any permanent damage. So you can continue grading up to a prolonged period, that is of maybe of 21 days. Okay. Now this particular test, eye irritation test, as I have told you, it is a concern. As far as possible, you are supposed to avoid damage or some kind of tissue damage or any kind of stressful condition in the animals. Okay, but this particular test is the most criticized one because it is inhumane. Because sometimes in most of the cases the eyes of the animals will get damaged. Okay, so for that matter, a number of substitute in vitro tests have been tried. Even the Draize test have been modified. Several modifications have been come out to make it more human. For that matter, a number of substitute tests have been tried, wherein attempts has been made to use the cultured cells, okay, in vitro test, or the eyes from the slaughtered animals have been utilized to test the effects on the eye. Okay, so obviously on the slaughtered animal, it will not produce any stressful condition in the animals, or it will not be damaging because already the animal is dead and you are utilizing the eye of a dead animal. So again, the question of ethics, this can be ruled out over here. Okay, so you can even modify the test in such a way so that you will require a fewer number of animals. Okay. Now usually once you test the particular substance on one animal, usually you should start with one animal at a time. Okay. So when the first animal is tested for eye irritation, and if it is severely irritating to that particular animal, or if it is severely damaging, you should observe that animal first, and if it is severely damaging, then no further eye testing is supposed to be conducted. You should immediately stop this particular testing, okay, to avoid the damage to further animals. Okay. Even the eye irritation test should never be carried out for any substances which have a pH of less than 2 or more than 10, because this particular pH, it is highly irritating to the eye. Okay, so if you know what is the pH of your chemical, and if it is found to be below 2 or more than 10, you should never go for the eye irritation test, because such kind of chemicals already have the potential for eye irritation. Okay. Then next type of acute toxicity testing is the dermal irritation and sensitization. Okay. So as the name implies, these tests are meant to find out the potential for dermal irritation, which is caused by topical application of the substance. So here you are applying your substance topically to the skin of the animal, and you are observing it for any kind of dermal irritation or sensitization. Usually these particular tests are divided into 4 categories. First one is a primary irritation, second one cutaneous sensitization, the third one is phototoxicity, and the fourth one is the photosensitization. So why these tests are necessary? Because there are several substances which are used topically. It may be in the form of certain cosmetics or detergents, bleaches, or there are many others. Even the drugs are applied topically. Okay, so such chemicals will come in direct contact with the skin. Okay, so there may be a potential damage which may be caused to the skin. Even sometimes the drug may even produce systemic toxicity. This occurs very, very rarely, but there are certain drugs which may be absorbed into the systemic circulation and produce systemic toxicity. So for that matter, for such substances, especially those which are supposed to be applied topically, these must undergo dermal irritation and sensitization tests. Even there are certain other chemicals which, when accidentally come in contact with the skin, it will result in skin irritation. Okay, so for any new chemical, you need to test these chemicals for dermal irritation and sensitization. Coming to the first type of dermal irritation and sensitization test, that is the primary irritation test. Okay, so as the name implies, in this particular test, the skin is exposed to the chemical and it is noted for any kind of you can say the immediate type of reactions which may be produced on the skin. Okay, so for this particular test, the animal required is albino rabbits. Now, the backs of these animals, these are clipped free of hair. Hair is removed, and area of 5 centimeters square is usually utilized. And in this particular area, either 0.5 ml or 0.5 gram of the substance is applied. Okay, so here it is dermal exposure. Okay, so you are applying your substance topically. After application, it is covered with a gauze pad. Now, even if you cover it with a gauze pad, it is necessary to cover the entire trunk of the rabbit. It should be wrapped with the help of a tape. Otherwise, sometimes the animals, they may accidentally ingest the chemical. So, to avoid this ingestion, usually the entire trunk of the rabbit is wrapped. Okay. Now, this particular substance which is applied to this area, it is allowed to act for around about 4 to 24 hours. And after this particular period, the tape as well as the gauze, both are removed and the area is observed. The treated area, these are observed for 2 types of lesions. That is erythematous lesions. Erythematous lesions means redness of the skin because of the congestion of the capillaries, or edematous lesions. So, as the name implies, there may be accumulation of the fluid in the subcutaneous region. Okay. So, these 2 types of lesions are observed for, and these are expressed on a numerical scale depending upon the severity of the lesions which are precipitated on the skin. Okay. Then, after an additional 24 to 48 hours of exposure, again the treated areas are evaluated and these are scored. Okay. So, this is to do with the primary irritation test. Coming to the next type of test, that is skin sensitization test. Okay. So, here as the name implies, you are observing for the sensitization of the skin, okay, whether the immune system is getting activated. Okay, so there are certain chemicals which have the ability to activate the immune system. So upon first exposure, it will identify that particular substance as a foreign substance. Okay, it will be antigenic. If it is antigenic, then antibodies will be generated in the body because of activation of the immune system, and upon subsequent contact, so next time when you expose the animal to that same chemical, it will produce a more severe reaction as a result of the activation of the immune system against that foreign substance. Okay. So the chemical, it results in formation of the antigen. Now how these antigens are generated? Usually the chemical may bind to the body proteins. Okay, so this ligand protein complex, it is recognized as a foreign protein by the body's immune system, and it will start generating antibodies against this foreign protein. Okay, so your body has now generated the antibody, so it will identify when subsequently this same chemical is exposed, it will result in an allergic reaction. Okay, so and your body will start generating the antibodies to destroy that antigen. Okay. Usually in this particular types of test, guinea pig is used as a experimental animal. Okay, so the animal, okay, that is the same way, the area is clipped off hair, and in a certain area the chemical is applied. Now while applying, there should be sufficient number of controls which you should run simultaneously. Okay, so certain number of animals are treated with the test compound. Okay, certain number of animals are treated with the vehicle alone, okay, into which your test compound may be dissolved, and there should be one positive control also. Okay, that is a known sensitizer is applied to these animals. Okay, say for example 2,4-dinitrochlorobenzene, this is a strong sensitizer, or cinnamaldehyde may be also used, which is a relatively weaker sensitizer. So likewise you can compare the reactions which may be induced by the test compound with the vehicle control and the positive control, and accordingly the grading can be done. Okay. Now usually in this particular test there are two phases of application of the chemical. One is the induction phase. Okay. So initial exposure is necessary. Okay. So this exposure is done for round about 2 weeks period. Okay. After every 3 days, the animal is treated with the test compound, the vehicle and the irritant or the sensitizer. Okay. Followed by this 2 weeks period, there is a 2-week rest period which is allowed. So here no exposure is done. Okay. No application of the test or control is done. And after this 2 weeks rest period, again challenge phase is run. That is, again the animals are exposed to the same chemicals. Okay. So here it consists of 24-hour topical treatment. Okay. Usually the same way how it is done in the primary skin irritation test. Okay. So whenever you are applying your chemical, it should be allowed to act for round about 24 hours. So after the exposure, after the second exposure, after the first exposure as well as the second exposure, you should observe the area of application for any kind of lesions, and these are scored on the basis of severity and number of animals which are responding. Certain animals might not produce any kind of lesions, okay, whereas certain animals might produce the lesions. Okay, so if there is greater skin reaction in the animals after the challenge dose is given as compared to the first exposure, then the chemical is said to be a dermal sensitizer. Okay, so second exposure, if it produces more severe reactions, then it is considered to be a dermal sensitizer. Next type of dermal irritation and sensitization tests include the phototoxicity and photosensitization. So both the tests are discussed together because these are related. So here basically the exposure of light is done. Okay, exposure to the light, usually the UV light is done. So after the application of the chemical, that area is exposed to UV light. Okay, so usually here two types of tests are carried out, phototoxicity and photoallergy. So you are observing for different types of reactions. So let us see what is the basic difference between the two. Usually what happens normally in both of these cases, after the exposure to the light energy, it causes excitation of the particular chemical, okay, the toxicant molecule. Excitation will take place, and after some time it will return back to the lower energy state and it will start generating the free radical intermediates. So in phototoxicity testing, these free radicals, they act directly on the cells to produce the lesions, whereas in case of photoallergic reactions, they bind to the body proteins, and this in turn will stimulate the immune system. Okay, so it will activate the immune system. So there are two types of reaction, two types of outcomes. Okay, if it is a phototoxic, it will directly bind to the cells and it will start producing the lesions. Whereas if it is a photoallergic substance, it will bind to the body proteins and stimulate the immune system to produce the antibodies. Okay, so it will act as an antigen and antibodies will be produced, okay, because it is identifying this particular complex as a non-self or a foreign substance. So antibodies are generated and the allergic type of reactions, that is sensitization type of reactions, are precipitated. Okay, so these tests usually, these are the modifications of primary irritation and sensitization tests. Okay, the only difference is that after application in these two types of tests, the area is irradiated with the UV light. Okay, and the difference between the treated and irradiated and treated and non-irradiated, what is the difference between the outcome? What is the severity of the lesions which are produced? So that is compared only where only the certain animals are treated and they are not exposed to any light. Okay, whereas in the second group, the animals are treated and they are exposed to the UV light. So a comparison is done. Okay, so difference between the outcome of these two groups, this is the measure of the phototoxic effect. Okay, so this finishes the eye irritation and the dermal irritation test. So we have covered the acute toxicity testing, okay, that is acute oral toxicity, eye irritation test and the dermal irritation and the sensitization test. The three types of acute toxicity testing. This is the reference. Thank you for watching.